Hello and welcome to a Drillstevejr Jr. special review. I am Count Drillstevejr Jr. and I want to suck your blood. Ooh, spooky. Okay, I'll shut up now. Hey everybody and welcome to a special Halloween themed Drillstevejr Jr. review, which in terms of theming consists of having Halloween Ends DVD in the background. And that's it. Anyway, I am Drillstevejr Jr. and welcome back to another Drillstevejr Jr. review. It's been a very long time since I've done any form of video, whether it be a review or a Let's Play video or some other random crap, but I'm finally back after a long hiatus, which was due to lack of motivation and personal reasons and wanting to focus on spending time with friends and family and my real life and all that other crap. But now I'm finally back for another Drillstevejr Jr. review. And today we will be taking a look at the Studio Series number 100 Rise of the Beasts Bumblebee figure. Now let's get straight into this, shall we? So, Bumblebee's car mode is, well, it's very similar to the 70s Camaro that we saw at the end of the Bumblebee movie. And the first, I want to say like the first half, or was it the first 2/3, or somewhere around there, of the 2007 original movie with Shia LaBeouf. Just do it! Oh my god, that is so dated. Holy. But with an added bumper bar and some bars up on the windshield and with some floodlights. I believe this is a new bumper looking area with a spoiler, which is only painted on one side. Looks like an Xfinity series spoiler from like 2014 or somewhere around there, where they had the Mickey Mouse ear spoiler. You know, if you watch NASCAR, you know what I'm talking about. And then back here, this is probably supposed to be like more armored up stuff, kind of like the bumper bar and stuff, but it honestly looks like someone just slapped an a air conditioning unit onto the back of the car. And there's some, what looks like some more beefed up fenders right here. But other than that, it's pretty much the same exact car mode. Here is the underside, and you can see pretty much everything. That visible head syndrome, as Emgo would like to say, is accurate because this is Bumblebee. And, well, if you've seen the Bumblebee movie, you know that that's completely accurate. But yeah, car rolls pretty decently, but now I think is the perfect time for some size comparison now. First up on the comparison, here is what we can consider Laserbeak, even though that I personally would have called this figure Pink Bumblebee, but I guess Laserbeak works fine because, well, it's Laserbeak in a Bumblebee form, but like, this is a Legends class Bumblebee repaint, pretty much. Next up on the comparisons, we have Matt Crafton. And hey, he's not rolling off the table this time. So, that's how he scales with, should probably put the camera back a bit. That's how he scales with Matt Crafton, who recently got into quite the tussle at Talladega, if you keep up with the truck series. Here he is with, I'll put it this way, Hoist. So you can see how he scales with one of the bigger modern deluxes. Here he is with Doc Hudson. Should probably do the smaller cars on this side. Oh, and this one does want to roll off. Here he is with the fabulous Hudson Hornet, a Disney Pixar car. Here he is with a more modern, basically the modern scale of deluxe. Red alert. As you can see, he is taller and thinner. And sort of see how that scales with the light bar. So that's how he scales with Red Alert. Here he is with his best friend ever from the 2007 movie, Brawl. So you can see how he scales with the brawling machine. Here he is with Override. This figure is great, and I'm probably going to review her next, being frank. So that's how he scales with Override. And here he is with this, I believe they called these things Energon Igniters. Like, you would put a block in them, and then it would reveal some weapons or whatever. Bumblebee, that is, like, based off of the 2007 figure. No, not figure. The 2007 movie, even though that this came out during the Bumblebee movie. So you can sort of see how he scales with an older figure based off of the 70s Camaro. And before you ask to see SSO1, I am not transforming that piece of shit. Period. Seriously. Screw that figure. I hate that figure. I am never transforming that piece of garbage again. And lastly, here he is with a Lego minifigure. So you can see how he scales with a Lego minifigure. Now, before we get down to transformation, I am going to very briefly discuss the accessories in this and how they will store in this mode. First off, I dropped one of the accessories. Good job, me. I think I accidentally moved the camera a bit, so gonna have to readjust it. Lovely. Just when I thought this review would go without any form of slop whatsoever. You get this blade, which reminds me of a box cutter. Some decent detail. It's not painted at all, but it's got some nice detail. There is the opposite side. There's two tabs right here, which will be important for the robot mode. For how this stores, you go underneath here, and in between the feet, there is a slot right there, and there is a tab on the top of the blade. So, you're gonna... Come on. There we go. You can store it in there, and he still rolls perfectly fine without it. I mean, with it on. Of course he rolls perfectly fine without it. I already showed that. And then you get his cannon, which I believe is a very similar molding to how he was molded with the Jeep Bumblebee figure. In fact, I have the Jeep Bumblebee figure right here. So I guess we can... I was gonna set frickin' Jeep Bumblebee. And yes, I'm not transforming Jeep Bumblebee because he has some of his own problems. I'm going to save him for the robot mode comparison. Here is that gun, and here is this gun. And they're not the same. I mean, Jeep Bumblebee's is smaller and lacks any yellow at all. And this one has yellow. I believe it was casted in yellow and then painted over in gunmetal, but this one's fully gunmetal. And focus for me, camera. And they have different cutouts for they slot into the arms. So I was mistaken. I thought they just slightly modified the Jeep Bumblebee cannon mold to include these two clips right here, because if you go back to the bumper right there, there's the clips will clip onto the... This worked perfectly when I was playing with it off camera, but now it's not working. What is going on? It will clip into the bumper. I said it will clip into the bumper. There we go. Clipped into the bumper. So, that's how you store the accessories. Now, let's get down to transformation, shall we? Now, the first thing you want to do, obviously, is, if you have them stored, remove the weapons. Then, what do we want to do here first? You want to come under here and flip the arms up. That'll get them out of the way pretty much. Then you want to take these sections with the wheels on them and flip them out. Like so. Then you want to untab the doors from the leg, or the thigh, pretty much. So you get all that done. Then you want to come down to the legs and you want to flip them down like so, and then you want to split them. They're quite tight because, as you can see here, there's quite a lot of tabbing that goes into it. You want to straighten out the legs. Then you want to come to the inside of the leg and you want to shimmy out the foot. And then you want to flip the back bumper so it's flush with the foot. Then you want to turn it around like so it faces the front. And then you want to take the roof and collapse it in like so. And then you have one foot. Now do the same exact thing on the other side. Shimmy it down, flip it down, flip that down, close that up, straighten the foot, the foot, I'm talking French now, the foot. Then you want to come back up here and you want to sorry, I thought I felt a sneeze coming on, but apparently it was a false alarm. You wanna push like so. You wanna push on this yellow part in the middle and push down on the two headlights, and that'll make that come up. Then you wanna get that as far out of the way as possible. And then you want to take those arms and move them up like so. Because you need to twist the ball joint. And then you want to flip them up. Flip them up like that. So that way they'll lock into place. Then bring the chest all the way down. Twist the headlight nipples. Oh my god. And before you collapse the hood, you want to flip this hood part and flip the windshield up so all lock up in the back like so. And that is how you transform this figure. Take notes, SS801. I almost said SS81. Take notes, SSO1. I freaking hate SSO1. That figure was so floppy, and it was a pain in the ass to transform, and the back part came undone all the time, and just, oh, I hate that figure. But look at this. This is how you transform from a 70s Camaro into a Bumblebee correctly. That was a very simple and straightforward transformation, and frankly, I couldn't be happier. Right. Now let's get into the details here. So, very, Nightverse head sculpt. I don't know why they called this universe the Nightverse. Sure, Travis Knight directed Bumblebee, but he did not direct Rise of the Beast, so according to that logic, it'd be okay to call it the Keppel Jr. universe as well. because Stephen Keppel Jr. directed Rise of the Beast. But very good head sculpt, I'd say. Nice blue and silver for... Blue for the eyes, silver for the mouth and the little vents. It's got its ears and the little bit of detail there. Some nice mechanical detailing going down the leg. As you can see, got some, almost looks like he's wearing cleats. He's got some nice cleats on, man. He's ready to kick around the football and, you know, run real fast. Wheels. I guess one complaint about this figure is that the wheels stick out a little bit too far, but I don't really mind, especially given how absolutely terrible certain other figures are. Freaking hate SSO1. In general, this figure is a big middle finger to SSO1, and that figure's garbage and engineering. Need to clear my throat for a second. There's the arms. Back, I'd say, cleans up pretty well. These wheels can only move that far back. So, I like to have the wings, the door wings, flush up against the wheels, but if you want to, you can spread the wings out a bit more. But kind of makes the wheels stick out a bit more. So I like to have it flush, but it's your toy. Display it however you want. Now, for accessories, bring the blade back in again. There's the tabs right there, and there are slots on either arm. I prefer this arm. I prefer this arm. You can plug it in, like so. So then he has a box cutter. Seriously, this blade looks like a box cutter. You know, that you find at like a hardware store. You extend it out, cut open box. And then it's Canon. There's a hole right there. And there's a 5mm port right there. And the hole accommodates this hand, but only this hand. If you try to put it in the other hand, it will not work. That's why I like the blade, so that he can dual wield, so he can slash and shoot. And in general, I like what they did with Rise of the Beast Bumblebee and how they made him sort of a silent badass type, because the Kid Appeal role was moved over to Mirage. So I like how they handled Bumblebee in Rise of the Beast. In general, really liked Rise of the Beast. It's a great movie. So, now let's get down to articulation. I almost forgot about articulation. I put him aside because I was about to do size comparison. So, the head is on a ball joint. It can go that far back in either direction because the back kibble gets in the way. Can move down that far and up that far. So, a little bit limited by like the sculpt of the head in terms of up and down, and it's limited by the back kibble in terms of side to side movement, but you can still get some pretty decent poses out of it, I'd say. The headlight nipples can move if you want them to move. I'd recommend just keeping them in the standard configuration, but if you want them just flat like that or drooping down like that, if you want to, you can, but I prefer them vertical so it matches the chest detail. The abdomen has a waist joint, and this waist piece right here, it's the same color as the the crotch is the same color as the waist, so I thought there wasn't a waist joint in there, but nope, there's a waist joint. And it can move all the way around. And also, the little slot for the mushroom peg almost looks like where you would put the VHS to play frickin' Rick Astley. Anyway, The legs are on a ball joint, so they can kick up that far, and they can go back that far. They can do about that much for the splits. And there's also a mushroom peg in there, so it can do a lot. Sorry, need to clear my throat again. Can do a lot of rotation right there. The knees are a little bit weird. They can go down about 90 degrees of bend, but like there's a weird locking point. See, like that? You can kind of get it in between like that, but oh, now it's not doing it. But if you slightly move it any further, then I'll come undone or go in. It's a little bit weird, but you can still work with it. I don't know how that came across on camera or through my discussion. If you have this figure, you know what I'm talking about with the locking knees. The ankles, though, the ankles are really good because you can get that much range of motion that way, that amount of range of motion that way, and it can rotate a full 360. So if you want to, you can give them headlight toes, tail light toes. Those are the headlights, these are the tail lights. So you can give them tail light toes if you really want to. But yeah, this guy has a lot of range of motion, and in general, I think this is one of the best figures that has come out this year. He is really good. Now, I might have to get myself a camera riser because I'm about to compare a lot of much taller figures compared to this guy, because honestly, this dude is kind of short. So, let me just... There we go. It's time for comparison. So first off, let's start off with another Camaro Bumblebee. The Activators one, and he's actually taller than the Activators one. So you can see how he scales with Activators Bumblebee, in case you wanted to know how that scaled up. Here he is with a good old classic Skids figure. Not the movie Skids, just G1 Skids, so you can see how he kind of scales with a standard size deluxe. He's a little bit shorter than him at the head, but... oh yeah, he's shorter in general. I thought maybe they were the same size if you take into account the door wings, but then I realized, oh wait, he also has door wings, and yeah. He's just taller in general. Here he is with Voyager class Inferno for the royalty! Yes, I know Inferno. Here he is with a core class G2 Megatron. Here he is with one of the taller deluxes. So I guess you could call him a deluxe because he's bigger than the standard deluxe. Needle nose. Here he is with a leader class figure. Fallen, and he's so big I have to move up the camera a bit. So that's how he scales with the Fallen, as Jetfire would call him. Here he is with the Unicron trilogy equivalent, Hotshot. Here he is with the worst piece of shit, garbage, floppy mess figure ever conceived by anyone ever. Frickin' garbage piece of crap. Here he is with Cyberverse Bumblebee. So you can see how they scale. Here he is with the Jeep Bumblebee. And before you ask, I do not have the Beetle Bumblebee from the Bumblebee movie. I wanted to get him, I just never ended up doing so, and he is stupidly expensive on the aftermarket. But I do have Jeep Bumblebee, and Jeep Bumblebee is shorter. So, yeah. And the last Transformer-based comparison before we move on to some other lines and figures. We have my last review, which was like 6 months ago. Buzzworthy Bumblebee Cup, and his neck wasn't straightened. But there we go. There he is with Buzzworthy Bumblebee Cup. Here he is with a 3 3/4 inch action figure. So you can see how they scale. Here he is again with a Lego minifigure, and that dude probably fell over when I threw SSO1 at him. So you can see how he scales with a Lego minifigure. And let's get down to the last comparisons. Here he is with McFarlane Toys Uraka. I should really get the Figma Uraka. I said Reveltech last time, but I meant to say Figma Uraka. Here he is with Barry. The Baryonyx. So you can see how he scales with a Lego Baryonyx. And here he is with Big Bot. Galaxy Upgrade Optimus Prime. Booyah! Freaking love this figure. And I love this figure as well. So, sorry, I just need to clear my throat again. What is it with me trying to... I know, not trying to. What is it with... Blah. What is it with me and not clearing my throat properly? Or needing to clear my throat often. There we go. I completely flubbed my sentence there. But would I recommend this figure? Absolutely. He is, in my opinion, the best Bumblebee figure we've ever gotten. He is very posable and easy to work with for like stop motions. He looks good on the shelf. He is a big FU to SSO1. That figure is so awful. Like, if I get 100 likes on this video, I'll review SSO1. I'm not even joking. At this point, if 100 people like this video, I will review SSO1, and it will be a dreadful experience, to say the least. But in general, let me know down in the comments what other figures you want to review. You want me to review. I am completely flubbing out this outro. Again, like I said previously, I could review Lego sets, I could review action figures, I could review another Transformer. My next review will probably be Override, because Override is another really good figure that came out this year. I could review, like, a book, like the Dragon Maid manga back there. I could review lots of stuff. So, may comment down below what you want to see me review. Like this video if you want me to review a certain god-awful figure that I would not shut up about in this review. And, this is Drillstevejr Jr. signing off, and I'll see you in the next review, which hopefully will not be in 6 months.